Okay, we are live. Welcome, everyone. We are super excited to actually have a bunch of people here. I think this is one of the first kind of live stream that we do actually to celebrate another great online hackathon happening. And this is all about MetaMask Smart Accounts and Mona Dev Cook-Off. So this is kind of an enhanced version of what we call the MetaMask Dev Cook-Off. And I'm excited because this month there is a lot of things happening, and I think we thought let's bring some folks in a live stream. Let's explain what are the bounty are, and then we will actually go through agenda in a moment. But without kind of going through the agenda, let's start quickly introducing ourselves. I don't know, Denham, you want to quickly introduce yourself? That you are on my right.
Sure, absolutely. Hi everyone, Denim here from Envio. I am one of the co-founders based in Cape Town, South Africa, and super excited about this upcoming hack.
That's exciting.
Can
I
I
love Cape
pass?
Town. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Port, you want to go next?
Yes, of course. And I am Port, developer advocate from Monet Foundation. And I mainly do like Discord stuff and also like documentation stuff for Monet. And I'm super excited to be here to be supporting the developers throughout this challenge we have that is building cool stuff on Monet with MetaMask and Envio. And yeah, feel free to ask me any questions anytime. Just reach out to me anywhere. That's it. I'm so
Yes.
excited. Let's go.
Nice, nice. Thanks, Bart. And exactly what you said here, we have also a chat. So for anybody that has any question during in the meantime, around everything, delegation toolkit, Envio, Monad, really feel free to ask there and we'll bring it up. Okay, so last but not at least, Ayush, you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush. I lead the dev engineering for the delegation toolkit. So if you have any questions for delegation toolkit, MetaMask Smart Accounts, feel free to drop in the chat, or we also have like Telegram groups. And I'm also active in the Monad Discord. So anywhere you wanna ask those questions.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm seeing lately also Mona Discord are all kind of on fire, so that's great actually to push this online hackathon. Okay, so let's get it started. Let's us share some screen here. Everyone on the left. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so welcome everyone in official capacity to this MetaMask Smart account and Mona Dev Cook-Off. So what are we talking about today? We'll kind of introduce you quickly what are those dev cook-offs. Then Ayush will kind of take over and we'll speak a bit about everything Smart Account and Monad Hackathon. So we'll go through some bounties. We'll actually go through some kind of bank ideas. And then we have both Port and Dinam actually speaking about what Monad and Envio hackathon requirements looks like. So we go through a little bit kind of the overall presentation, maybe even diving a bit on the tech stack, kind of doing some dummy question around just to understand also what people can build and use case can be unleashed. And then we brought kind of a special guest, Yash from our DevRel team to actually announce all the embedded wallet winner from the last month on the virtual hackathon. So that was actually a cool thing. So for everybody listening, they actually hacked last month and dedicate this time to build use case around embedded wallet. We're super excited. We had tons of submission, and it was so hard to actually judge that we actually I think we took almost 2 weeks, but we're excited that we have final winners. Okay, sounds good. So quickly introduce about kind of dev cook-offs, why we're doing that, why it's so important. So there are a bunch of people that are not just in IRL events, but they are building all the time. It's kind of like an evergreen building, 365 days a week, 7 days a week. And the only way to actually build and kind of trying to show what you're building, we thought about why we're not bringing this evergreen yearly kind of monthly hackathon. They're called basically MetaMask Dev Cook-Off, but the way that we're structuring now is much more engaging with a strong ecosystem like partners, community members, and just a great player to actually build together things. So, and this month is all about smart accounts, Monad and Envio. So it's very interesting because we kind of like formalize different tracks, and I think like it's just a great way to also like re-engage. So there are people that build different things in the, I don't know, the 3 months kind of like MetaMask Dev Cook-Off, and a lot of things happened, and they're kind of like rebuilding something. And the goal is not just to build. And kind of get bounty. The goal is really like kind of like showing what you got, and we also invited the top winners to our community call. This is a big MetaMask community call where people can kind of like present their demo and get kind of exposure in the big community. But in the same time, we're also like able to coordinate and build with all the founders and apps builder in the space. So this is not just an hackathon of 48 hours. This is also like a way to expand features, extend the functionality of your app. And we encourage founders, we encourage also like different levels from beginner to intermediate to advanced developers. So it's not just for individual contributor. If you're building a app, you want to actually like start using delegation toolkit with it, you are most than welcome. So we don't want just fresh code. We're encouraging also the app extension. Okay, I don't know if I'm missing something, Ayush. You've been also around the block on those hackathons. What excites you the most around those MetaMask Dev hookups?
I think the best thing about the cook-off is like it's a month-long event. So there have
Oh
been
yeah,
times like when you go to hackathon, you are a new person, you don't have enough time to learn something new and build. But in this 1 month, like we'll be hosting like different workshops, right? Like so even if you don't know about like how you can use Envio, how you can use MetaMask Smart Accounts, you can attend those workshops, learn something new and build something. So not just about like it can be a good learning journey and building something like a kind of course that you are doing. So that's another way to look at it, and I think that's pretty cool. Like,
agree. And there is a lot of things to learn, right? I really like the combination. We introduced the live coding session in the same time. So there are like we're trying to kind of build break things. And I think like during this kind of like monthly hackathon, first you have time to sleep. It's not a 48 hours. And but second also like you're really able to ask different DevRel engineers for support, and it's a continuous thing. So really a month long. You're able really to learn something new. I think this is really exciting. Plus, in combination with those workshops, you're also kind of like able to learn properly also a specific tech stack. So and yeah, I think that's what excited most. Okay, let's do it. So I think we kind of like mentioned a bit why we're doing that. What is this kind of like MetaMask Dev Cook-Off? So we have kind of like different things. So we kind of like officially like started this month. We have a 15K in total awards. So I think this is exciting. So it's not just about bounty what we said, but it's also a great way to being kind of like rewarded what you're building. But again, this is everybody is a winner when you're hacking on those longer time frame, and there is always way to get exposure. Like our door are always open. You can DM us, you can get invited to those kind of like community calls. But most important, like we are announcing something like soon that will be very exciting, because we are basically like giving opportunity to every community member founder to actually show what they got. So through kind of community blog posts, through community PRs, community lists, and I think there is a lot of like different things happening that are very exciting to really like build an inclusive Web3 developer community. And we're here to just accelerate and support and get as many feedback as we want. Our doors are always open. So excited. Okay, I think I don't know. I usually want to kind of like mention a bit what's the prize pool, what are the tracks. So we dive deep a bit in why we're doing this and what are actually those tracks.
yeah, I think I'll like go to the hackathon page itself, so it's like more easier to understand like what
Oh
we are trying
yes,
to do. If you can share my screen.
yes, I will do it now here at the same time. Perfect.
Yeah, so I think like if you're someone who has not registered yet, so you can go and start registering, and you can see the qualification criteria over here. So that's the first thing like what we are looking in like top level projects, and also for the NVO bonus requirements, what are the requirements over here? So you are sorted. If you go to the price and judge, you will find the tracks that we have as of now. Like if you can see like over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 tracks over here. And the first track is like the best AI agent. So consider like you want to build an agent where you don't want to expose the private keys or something like that, right? As of now, every AI agent is kind of having an embedded wallet. But what if like you can delegate via MetaMask extension using Sense and 1.5? Or what if like you are creating an AI agent which does not require access to your private key? You can create delegations to the agent and agent can perform tasks on your behalf. We have also given like the possible directions. You can build an agent to provide better yield, or you can also do something like copy trader, like an AI agent that can copy trade for the top traders that you want to copy from. You can also build an agent like DCA, and there is also a cool reference over here. You can if you go to the reference, you can see the demo as well, like the team who has already built it. So you can extend and you can see like how they have built to get a reference. If you are aware about the Magic Newton, you can build something like this with delegation toolkit and MetaMask Smart Accounts. So that's also something to look at. If you are going for the other track, the best on-chain automations, so consider like you kind of do a lot of things like which you think like can be automated. Like every time like there's an hack going on, like everyone goes to the revoke.cash and kind of does up like revoking their like token approvals, right? And that's kind of something that you can basically automate. So you can basically create a revocation service like revoke.cash that can be automated. You can also do payment subscription service. As of now, the payment subscription service is like are not like decentralized. So if you're building a service that is like used by Web3, I think it should have that ethics and the morals that follow, right? The standards that we have, like it should be decentralized. So you can also create payment subscription service like using delegations where every month like 20 USDC is deducted from the user's wallet. You can also create limit order executions like auto swap on behalf of the user. Like let's say like ETH was crashing last night, but you were sleeping, right? So you can also say that hey agent or any automation that hey if the prices go down below this, you can basically do the execution on my behalf even if I'm not there to click the buttons. And like the best consumer application, right? Like we have seen like Monad has a lot of like it's one of the fastest chain out there, and it's something like you can do like you can create like best consumer applications. It can be anything. It can be game, it can be like a day-to-day app that you can use, kind of app that allows like parents to give like crypto card or like crypto money to the children to use it, or anything that you can think of that falls in the consumer application can be built. It has nothing to do with AI agent or automation. Just using MetaMask smart accounts on Monad is good enough for you. And then we also have like if you are building on any of these tracks, you can also use Envio. So if you're using Envio, you can also be eligible for the bonus bounties that Envio is providing. So you can use their services to get the indexers or the any data you want on chain. And then we also have like the most innovation use of delegations. So if you go in the first two tracks, right, like you can see one of the criteria is using the delegation. So if your hack is that good, if it is using the delegations in a way that we have never thought about it, so you are also eligible for this on the bonus track. And then also you're eligible for the best Farcaster mini app. If you are just like deploying your existing application on Farcaster mini app, it's your project can be also eligible for this track. And I think like we already talked about the best use of Envio. So apart from the Envio bonus for the top three tracks, if Envio team thinks like your use of Envio is the best out of all of the like projects submitted, you will be also eligible for an additional 2000 USD. And I think that's a lot of money to be win, right? Like
Oh yeah, that's very exciting. I wish I had this kind of like, bounties when I started hacking back in the days.
yeah, and I think this time like we have given a lot of resources, so you can go over here. You can in the resources tab, you can see the regulation toolkit docs. We also have the guides. We have the tutorials that you can use. Same for the Monad. You can see all of the relevant general docs, the explorers, the mobile resources, and for the Envio as well. Like you can see tutorials, example guides, any additional resources you think can be helpful for you while hacking. So you can also find in the resource tab. And I think like we are also hosting like a lot of workshops. The Envio is the next one on the 24th. So if you want to learn like how you can use Envio, you can definitely jump into that workshop and like get hands-on experience on using Envio.
Exciting. I'm very excited when I saw the one-shot API building this kind of innate workflow with delegation toolkit. I think that's super, super interesting. But I really like that every time it's getting better and better. There is the idea bank, all the resources are actually like very cool. And yeah, I mean, Dana and Port, like, when we started doing this dev cook-off was mostly like, let's hack. But I think also the fact that you guys are here, it's kind of like a conglomerate, also like cool solution and people can leverage. I think that's very exciting. Okay, sounds good. I think like our Port, I think you want to kind of like take over. I don't know if you have some slides to share or something. Let's hear something more about quick intro, kind of like around Monad, why maybe participating, and what kind of like are the requirements around this kind of like Monad specific track.
Hell yeah, that's so cool. Let me first talk about some stuff. The prizes are amazing. We usually like hold developer missions in our developer Discord, and you might have seen some of those, some of the results that we have. But I think we never held anything with monetary prizes. So I think this is a great value for the effort spent for any developer lurking out there. And thanks for explaining everything. I might be going over the same stuff again,
Yeah,
but
that sounds good.
let me share my screen.
That's exciting.
I hope
But
everyone is able to see it. So I
we
have
can see it.
three windows open right on top of each other. But hey, I have a little QR code here that might be interesting for some folks. So I won't be telling you what this is. And if you're watching this stream right now and if you want to learn, go take out your phone, maybe scan it, maybe it will be something cool, maybe it will be something that you already know, but who knows? You have to try it. So I'm giving everyone like 30 seconds to check this out. By the way, I have the Hack Quest page open here, which I will delve into really soon. But hey, if I wanted to introduce Monet from scratch, I will just say this. And this is it. I have terrible computer skills. Sorry. Yeah, Monet is a high performance Ethereum compatible L1. And yeah, this is it. We literally, not we, but Category Labs designed EVM from scratch. And now the EVM is a lot faster, a lot more efficient. And this is what Monet is. Whatever you do on Monet, it's literally almost too efficient. And as an app developer or a developer, whatever you do, on Monad, you will find it very, very easy to do, just like it's Ethereum mainnet, but it will be a lot faster, a lot cheaper, and you will probably get a lot more support than you would on Ethereum mainnet. So that was enough time for you to scan this QR code. And yeah, let's go and click some buttons. Maybe I'll make this small again. And wow, where do I
Oh,
go?
on the slideshow on the right side, I think was
Oh
it?
yeah, I'm
Yes.
terrible. I'm a PowerPoint person, by the way. I don't like Google
Yes.
Slides. Yeah. Well, so yeah, just one sentence. I'm Port Developer Advocate from Monet Foundation. You can find me on Twitter, Port_dev. I'll try to keep this segment short. Also, let me maybe start a stopwatch so that I can keep this under 5 minutes. This will be very fast, people. So we will talk about what Monad is and why it makes sense to build on Monad, and all the other stuff, all the other highly technical stuff. I'll just skip those. So why does this matter? Why does Monad matter? We had like some very basic stuff on blockchains previously, like CryptoKitties and like really basic NFTs, very basic games and whatever. But the feature is a lot different than we have right now. We have something called DePIN. We have high fidelity DeFi, and I don't know what that is right now, but we have lots of cool things happening. But what's the problem with the EVM? As you can see in this meme here, um, the EVM is dominant, Ethereum is amazing, but it's a slow moving ship, which is really cool. But we kind of have that problem of it being too expensive at times and too slow most of the time. But Monad, on the other hand, is VLB and is really fast and cheap. Also, the storage access patterns in Ethereum are not really efficient. Let me go quickly. All right, 10K TPS, you have probably seen it numerous times on CT. By the way, this is not updated. Sorry about this. This should be 400 millisecond block times, single slot finality, and the validator count right now is close to 200. Actually, I want to go directly to gmonas.com because it's cooler. So gmonas.com is where you can see some really cool data about Monad testnet. So as we can see here, let me just zoom in here. We have some blocks being produced and they're all green. Green means cool. And the transactions are here and everything is working great. And we should be able to see some stuff, but maybe I have blocked them. And let's check the validators too to get the real number of validators. No, I probably have something blocking this somewhere. So let's go back to these slides. I think we should have around, if I'm not mistaken, we should have around close to 200 validators. Ooh, maybe if I like, was it this one? No, it was the other Explorer. Anyways, let's go. I will quickly skip those, but the main things that Monad offers are asynchronous execution, optimistic parallel execution, MonadDB, and MonadBFD. And actually, if you want to check out, MonadBFD is now fully open source as well as the execution client. So the two main components that we have are open source. Go check them out under Category Labs GitHub account. Let me move on. Let me move on really quick because I think I might be running out of time. So those were all like really deep technical details, but what matters to you as a developer is this: the Monad ecosystem and the support you can get. And as you can see here, we have a lot of good stuff happening on testnet. And those things include Envio and MetaMask, but are not limited to those. If you're using Monad, you're getting lots of visibility on Twitter and lots of ways to get in front of people also. And if you want to get started as a developer, I think the fastest way is to go to docs.monad.xyz and literally read it like a book. And we have little guides on how to deploy smart contracts with Foundry, Hardhat, and Remix. And we also have a little scaffold ETH guide on our documentation as well. And hey, we have cool stuff like Envio. Can I zoom in here? No, I think I cannot. But yeah, imagine that I zoomed it. Envio is really cool. Let's go. And we also have a Monad developers GitHub account. Feel free to check it out. We have templates with React Native, Next.js, whatever. And we have lots of really cool stuff that we have on testnet. I will be so quick here. And we have an MCP. Please note that this is all experimental. And I think the most prominent, or like I think our best strength as Monad is our community. We literally have events running all the time, all around the world. And when you deploy an app, whether it's something really basic or something very complex or something very cool like Envio, you will literally have hundreds of users out of thin air because the community likes to experiment with stuff and do things on chain. Let me move on really quick again. Let's go. And shout out to developer missions on Monet Developer Discord. And we hold bi-weekly developer missions in our Discord just to um, have things and like experiment with new stuff. And as I said before, this is something that we're trying for the first time with MetaMask, and I'm really excited to be having this. And let's go. I will actually show you what kind of stuff that we expect or what kind of rules we have for this little hackathon or like the Dev Cook-Off challenge. So first of all, I think every little detail is outlined in a great way in this hack quest page. But for the rules, I think if you use MetaMask Smart Accounts, and if you're doing it on Monet Testnet, and if you like tick all of the 5 rules here, I think it's okay. And the examples here are like really amazing. But I want to show you how I find what I build on a hackathon. So what I do is like really simple, and I would really suggest that you do the same. I go this Control A, Control C, Control V, and then I go. Sorry, I don't have my right hand right now, so I will go here. All right, all right. This is not my real typing speed, by the way. I usually type very fast. All right, tell me what to build.
This is like reverse keyboard usage or something. Yeah, like a piano player.
Be novel. Yeah. Do not make mistakes. I
I
like
like the specifics.
not make mistakes. All right. This is what I do. And usually the first answer or the first iterations are pretty bad, but you can improvise and find better things. I think this was already in the page, the hack quest page, but you can improvise the other stuff and ask it to like come up with even more novel ideas. Usually when you use newer models or like thinking models, you can get different ideas. Or you can copy this result like this and then paste it in something like maybe Cloud so that you get like better answers. So this is how I ideate for a hackathon. Just use AI because it's already available. And it's like very cheap to use. And I believe lots of people are already using it, but you can do like, hey, I have 5 children to feed, so please generate novel ideas or something. It will give you better ideas if you back to it or if you kind of use those like little tricks to make AI think better. So yeah, that's what we expect. We expect novel stuff. I think the key word here is novel, new. Just build new stuff. Use Envio, use MetaMask Smart Accounts, and whatever you're doing, do it on Monet. That's it. I don't know if I took a long time. Yeah, that's like 10
I think it's good.
minutes. Sorry about that. But
Port, like what, like out of all those, the idea, like novel idea, what is your kind of like favorite that if you were building here, you were like kind of like tapping into? You have any kind of favorite like use case?
I think I would go for something that would improve UX without hindering like the
Mhm.
security. I don't like I have a product idea in my mind, but I don't want to make it public because I'm gonna be building it myself. But I will tap into UX and security.
Nice.
So do you know like P Cavarcio? He's like building like he built a tool about how like proving like multi-sig stuff locally. I would build the same thing but for MetaMask Smart Accounts, and I will just improve the UX. I think the UX is already great there, but I would just tap into UX and security however I could. Or the second thing I would do is this, like literally this is my goal. I don't want like extremely good yields,
Reels.
but I
Yeah.
need something as simple as this. I want to like add some money here. Maybe imagine an UI like this. I put like 10K and I click go, and it asks me how safe I want to be. And I say like, I want to be very safe. Then it just puts my money into some protocol, or like puts it into our way, or like, I don't know, somewhere, so that it's safe and it's making me more than what? Treasury bonds, maybe more than
Yeah,
US Treasury
yeah,
bonds, maybe
makes sense.
6%, 7%. That's what I want to do, because I don't want to be spending my time on thinking about whether something is secure, or like thinking about how I should like lock my money in some protocol. And I think this could matter with when we think about adoption, because if imagine that you have like 10K or like 5K, and if you're just getting into crypto, if there was an app, if there was something like ChatGPT, or like something like a very basic one button app that you could use to stake your money to get yield back, that would be awesome. And that app could have a little wallet inside it or something. I think this could be the first step to getting more adoption for crypto. I think those would be my first two picks.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm a big fan on the yield optimization. I see a lot of teams building also like AI pools, like pool liquidity pools rebalancing, and I think there is a lot of like tons of optimization on the UX side. I think on the user side, right? So I think kind of like top up solution. Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Port, for actually adding also this the developer Discord. Let me untoggle here, and I think like we can also answer questions in the meantime. I think we let's proceed. I think we're 35 minutes in. Wanna also keep some time for questions, but yeah, I mean, Deam, is a pleasure to have you here. I think we want to go through quickly the kind of like the Envio tech stack and understanding a bit the track and what kind of like excites you the most. Um, do you have a screen you want to share?
Yes,
Let us know.
absolutely. Port, first off, thanks for all the kind Envio mentions there. I can attest to how awesome the Monad ecosystem is. It really is buzzing. Um, so we are just super excited to see what everyone builds. At the end of the day, Envio is developer tooling. So we're something that's designed to help you build out your application, whether it's a DCA or something more vanilla or something for UX. You all kind of need this data tooling. If you're unfamiliar with Envio, a really, really simple way to think about it is it's the layer between your smart contracts and your application, usually like a front end or something like that. But I'll go through an example. I think Ayush did mention that I'm giving another longer form workshop where we can go into more of the technical side of things on Wednesday. Not sure the exact time, but I'm sure that's available, where we can dive into things a little bit more. But essentially, just to run you through it a little bit, Envio has kind of two core products, that being HyperIndex and HyperSync. And we just want to see the best use case of this integrated into your ideas and really see what cool things you build. Just to break that down, HyperIndex is kind of like an end-to-end framework. It's multi-chain. It's extremely flexible, and I'd love to dive into the flexibility side of it a little bit, just how it can be quite applicable in this case here. But also just something that's quite standout is its performance, and it's incredibly performant. You can see from these benchmarks, which were actually done by Sentio, a third-party indexer, just showcasing how kind of performant things are. And then the second part of our data tooling stack is HyperSync. And HyperSync is maybe a little bit more low level, but again, a lot more powerful. It's a little bit, you've got to maybe do some extra management and stuff on top of it, but super powerful for getting raw data extremely performantly. And we know how much data comes into play with AI models and whatnot. So very much quite useful for getting this data fast. Just to show you a little bit more and maybe touch on how simple it is to use the tooling, I just wanted to give a quick little demo. So I opened MonadScan, and I found this contract, USDC coin. It's verified. So all I'm going to do, it looks to be an ERC20 token. It can work with any kind of contract, but I can copy that address. Super easy. I just come here to the landing site. I'm going to paste that in, and it's going to give me a command which I can run in the terminal to build an indexer and have data already available. So really quick and easy to get started and off the bat. And then, of course, makes sense to do something custom around your specific application. So let's hope the demo gods are friendly. I'm going to copy this command here. I'm going to paste it in my terminal, and I'm going to click enter. And what this is doing in the background, it's going to generate an indexer for me, and it's going to hopefully run it smoothly, and we should see some data being indexed around this contract. And you can use this for your application. It's really quite powerful in terms of what you can use to build it. All right. While that is running, we can give it a moment. Cool. So it looks like it's generated the indexer. It's just code files on my computer. You can open it up, and you can see it's starting to index already. We've gone through 11,000 events, and I can check out the console just to see what's happening. And you can see it's indexing through these events. And what's quite nice is I can take a look at this data already. So it's not overly smart. It's kind of just taking the event data and put it into an API that we can access it. I'm assuming there's going to be quite a lot of kind of transfer events, and I can do that GraphQL query, and we can see that data being returned. So just want to emphasize, super easy to build out these initial kind of dating tooling pieces. There's a free hosted service you can deploy your dApps onto. We really do pride ourselves in support, so please do jump into our Discord or our Telegram and shoot through some questions. I see some devs have already, which is really awesome. Pumped to see you there. Just to touch on the bounties again, I know it's all very much available, but we really are something that's just there to accompany your idea. So whatever you're building, I definitely encourage you to check out the Envio tooling. It'll be really quite easy and straightforward to help you develop out your application. It's really nice, these slightly longer form hackathons. It gives you a chance to dive into things a bit closer. And so this is HyperIndex, what I just showed you now. And let me show you maybe a production example. It makes it a bit more easier. So I'm going to go to this Uniswap v4 indexer, and you can see it's indexing all these different networks. This is indexing close to 400 million events. That's a little bit more, but you can see it took about 24 hours to. And what I like about this indexer specifically to demo is we have a UI. So I can show you what that looks like. This is essentially an application that's pulling data from there, and you can see some swaps coming through as we're looking at it. And just to show you as well, you can see real-time swaps happening. So very cool to see. Obviously, lots of Uniswap v4 activity happening. If I just hover over here, we can see someone did a $197 trade on Polygon. All right, so that's HyperIndex in a nutshell. Very simple, very straightforward. If what you're building needs a kind of a layer below, you can access Hypersync directly. Now, Hypersync has its own query interface. As Port says, AI is incredible tooling for developing things out. So we do have a AI-friendly documentation. You can just copy these links, plug it into Cursor. In fact, also when you generate an indexer, you'll see there's some Cursor rules that get imported too, really just to help out and make that development cycle a little bit easier. So Hypersync is slightly more low level, slightly more flexible. But we also have this really cool builder tool, which essentially allows you to pick data points you want, create the filters, etc. And I'm going to go on for failed transactions. Let's go for Mono testnet. And if I execute this, let's click failed transactions, and I execute this query, we should see kind of data points that we can use in our application. So super high level. Just to recap on that, there's two core products. There's HyperIndex and Hypersync, and HyperIndex being kind of an end-to-end framework for building APIs, and Hypersync. The last thing I just want to show you, which is really something quite standout, is the handlers are asynchronous in hyperindex, which means you can really integrate with different pieces of tooling. So you can send notifications to Telegram, or you can initiate smart contract calls, or you can fetch CoinGecko prices API, and you can integrate it into your same kind of data tooling. So it really has quite a bit of flexibility there. There's also this really nice Envio example of this in the Monad docs. Essentially, when wrapped Monad gets past a certain price threshold, it if there's a transfer of like a certain amount, it'll send a message to Telegram. So really flexible, really nice to accompany your tooling. I think that's everything I wanted to cover from my side. Again, we pride ourselves on our support, so please do answer questions at any time. We really want to see what you guys are there to build.
They have big, huge respect for the demo gods here that allowed us for this to happening. So great, great work here. Any exciting kind of like use case that that you think that kind of like maybe like a higher priority that you see?
Yeah,
That might be interesting.
I think AI and kind of blockchain data is a very interesting space. I do think often with AI you get kind of degrees of confidence, or it can hallucinate. So it's not always 100% accurate. And often with kind of building out data tooling, you need data points to be kind of mathematically sound, like kind of completely accurate. So I suppose where that balance comes in the integration of using kind of these data tooling to plug into AI models to try and improve. For example, with Port's really simple agent to deposit your capital into the best yield, I would want to know that the AI is trained on as much kind of data sources as possible. So it's actually fully aware of what are kind of best possible venues, or what is the most risky.
Nice, very cool.
I think while like
Yeah, I'm also looking forward. Go for it, Yush.
I think when Denim was like showcasing the talks, a pretty cool idea stuck into my mind that you can use hypersync to get the pool events of Uniswap, and you can basically do the LPing agent. Like you are the first one to snipe the token launch, and you basically
Yeah,
add USDC or whatever token you want to add, and you can get the maximum result in just like few minutes, because it's the initial phase of the pool being created where you get the maximum like APR or the returns you get. So it's pretty cool to like snipe using those data.
100%. If a pool gets over, let's say, $10,000 in TVL, you get like a notification, or it hits your agent, and your agent's like, "Oh, cool! I discovered a new token before anyone else." So definitely a lot of cool tooling you can do.
We should add in the resource bank.
Nice. Yeah, that's. Oh yes, the resource bank will be cool. Yeah, I also like thinking about use case to actually to leverage the A004 on the trustless agent. That might be also interesting that we saw also people leveraging this around delegation toolkit.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting.
We should also host a
Sounds good.
workshop by Port on how to do the ChatGPT prompts, AI prompts for,
Oh,
for
this is a
hackathon.
good yeah. Yeah. This and maybe as a part of a live coding session or something. It would be cool to try to break things and try to debug live. That would be cool. Okay, sounds good. I think like we are almost at time for like our special kind of like guest and winner announcements. Did we miss anything? I think Ayush, Danport, everyone kind of like here spoke about. I think like I can share quickly our like one of the last slides. You have actually the QR code here. So again, so we're starting officially. I started already officially. We have the deadline on 20th October. Here is the link. We shared it also in the chat. Here is actually the QR code that you can scan. It's quite straightforward. It's in the Aquest page. And yeah, I think we will have a couple of more workshop happening that we kind of like deep dive and kind of like break things. And yeah, if the demo gods allow, obviously. Yeah, so I mean, thanks so much. So let's actually like move. I don't know, did we miss anything else? Ayush, that you kind of like port that you want to kind of mention here before we're kicking off our last section?
No, I think we covered everything.
Nice, nice. Okay, sounds good. So we will share at the end again the link probably. But I think now it's all time to for some winner announcement. So I'm very excited about because I think this is the second time that we're bringing and doing some announcement on a live stream. So I think without further ado, I will welcome Yash on stage. And I mean,
Hello.
welcome, Yash. Big pleasure to have you here. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
I guess at this point, everyone might be already knowing me. I'm almost at every single MetaMask stream right now. So, hello everyone. I'm Yash. I handle developer relations for Embedded Wallets at MetaMask. So, like every single thing, finally, MetaMask Embedded Wallets Hackathon has ended, and it was like overwhelming response for me. Like, to be honest, I did not expect so many things that happened in the hackathon, and I'm really excited to share things around it today.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it was long, and I think was one of the highest kind of like submitted hackathon. A lot of enthusiasm. I think during the month, and I think month and 2 weeks or something, there were a lot of like questions and feedbacks. Yeah, so I hope like people actually slept a bit because was incredible to see use case. And I think judging wise, Yash was quite a nightmare. A lot of like different quality submissions, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, if I talk about the stats of the hackathon, actually, like, I have that sheet prepared over here, like,
Oh,
small
yes.
things over in the hackathon. So, we were offering around $23,000 worth of prizes. Um,
Wait, do you want me
yeah,
to screen share? I totally
yeah,
forgot.
just open up my
Yes.
screen. Okay, perfect. So we had $23,000 worth of prizes over there, and it was distributed over so many different kinds of tracks. So like we had AI agents, we had cross chain stuff because it was a Solana hackathon. So we were focusing on a lot of different chains coming together with Solana, and they were like identity. There were so many different kinds of tracks, and inside of that we got 710 applicants. They were like around 100,000 views of the page, and it was like insane how many people were actually viewing it. And then 135 submissions. And to be honest, judging 135 submissions is a task. I got to know about this at this point of time because they were so good. Like out of them, around I shortlisted personally my good ones, around 50 projects were really good, and I had to give prizes to 18. It was such like a difficult decision at that point of time out of those 50 because they were really really good submissions, and I had to filter it out. But yeah, finally, like after a lot of effort from the whole team, I was able to like filter out the top prizes, and I'll go ahead and actually share them right now. So the first one was AI powered Web3 agents and autonomous dApps. And today, basically, Ayush was mentioning some kind of AI agents. And very honestly, if you just see these projects, they have actually implementing a lot of these things. Like they are projects which are like, for example, Ori. It's like you can just go and deploy any random account, and it will deploy an AI agent for you, and it will trade on your behalf in the back end. You can set the limits how you want to actually trade, how you do not want to trade, and stuff like that. And I love that project properly. Metapilot is doing the similar thing, but in terms of DAO votings, and that was a very unique concept. I never heard AI agents to be actually doing that. And similarly, Personify was a similar AI agent, and really loved the implementation what they had done. And the next one goes to the Solana everyday impact and consumer products. So these are like general use case products. And to be honest, Looper over here is my favorite project of all the different submissions. I love their video submission. I really want those hackers to be there in our stream next time if possible. I will definitely reach out to them. And their video is totally insane. They have worked a lot on like every single thing. They have a web SDK that people can just integrate and start a subscription, and they have a mobile app from which subscriptions can be tracked, and in one click anybody can pay anyone, and that is actually a real use case, and I was really really happy about that. So Luma, as it sounds, is like a Luma. MyPay, a similar kind of an application. If I go and explaining everything, it will take me like the whole hour, so I'll rather not explain a lot. But yeah, I really love these applications. cross-chain interoperability and asset movement. Swapper, a very similar, like what it sounds like, a swap tool. A mint talk, actually a talk to that to just mint your NFTs and stuff like that. PayPact, similar project, I guess, like you can create a pact and you can pay everybody. Then comes the programmable commerce and DeFi for everybody. And here's the Hibiscus, another AI agent actually. And Utora, a very interesting thing called Bloomer Terminal for LP, Meteora LPs, and that was really interesting. And then Soulmate, a similar project as well. Then tokenization in RWAs and digital identities. Here, one thing was there, RWA projects were not lot there, but there were a lot of identity projects like Musify NFT. It's like a midway between RWAs and NFTs, if I say. Like it's like you can have your own album uploaded, create an NFT out of it. You can actually go ahead and share with people. Very AI. It's like verifying what you are writing in the world of AI, and Solana Flow and RWA project as well. And here, social media. Like we looked into a lot of social media stuff, what people have done, and Swappa actually got the most votes by the community as well. So I was like, Swappa definitely wins this one. And the other projects, what I thought were really good, very AI, Solana Flow, and Looper, we gave them this particular prize. The next ones are the prizes given by our sponsors. So definitely SNS. So the future of social spaces. This was the one that they really liked. Solana Pay, one-click checkout. This was a very pretty good one as well. Like totally using the whole Solana stack. And then Chain for Good. So Chain for Good looked into all the prizes, and they had a tie because they were so good projects. So the first prize goes to three projects over here: PayPact, MyPay, and Space. And technically, this concludes all the prizes. We'll be announcing it properly on social media as well. We made sure that everybody gets a fair chance. Like anybody like wants to like talk to us during the live stream, who is a winner, please reach out to us. And like just go into the Telegram Embedded Wallets channel. We'll be happy to actually have you over here in the live stream this weekend. No, Friday actually. So we'll love to have you, and definitely looking forward to more such projects in the smart accounts hackathon as well. So yeah, over to you, Francesco.
No, this is great. I actually really liked some of those names, like Soulmate, like very creative names.
Yeah, very
But
interesting.
I mean, it was a big pleasure, and everyone here from the Solana Foundation, SNS, they worked also like very hard. So big a shout out to also like the partners from the previous MetaMask Dev Cook-Off, and also very impressed with on this marathon of winners, right? I think it's quite impressive the tracks that were also like created, and these were all kind of like created from like scratch, right? Tracks, partners. So big shout out to here to all the team and everyone in the background to make this happen, because a lot of like work, and yeah, also excited for the Friday live stream. Yash, if question, if you want to kind of like go back at the beginning of the hackathon or something, like what were your kind of like lesson learned that you wish like people will know, that now we're going to the kind of like next on the smart account and kind of on the Monad side, on the Envio side. If people are hearing this now, they want to participate during this kind of month hackathon, do you have any kind of like lesson learned slash recommendation? And this is also for you, Ayush, Deham, and Port, that we can share.
Like as a judge, I would really care about what the code is written. A lot of people really
Mhm.
record a really good demo and they don't share the code. Similarly, they record they
Yeah.
could share the code but do not record a demo. So it's like both of them
It
have
was
a
not
very
good.
very good
Yeah.
impact,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So they have to make sure like both of them are there at least. Like obviously your code might take an edge, your demo might take an edge. In general, in terms of submissions, that was something I really really valued. And one thing is that like when we have highlighted the idea bank, our like subconscious revolves towards actually, is it actually matching the things we have talked about, and is it like very creative in the way, like so it's like, have you exactly used that idea or have you been creative? And the people who have been created, like for example, a couple of them I talked about, like very AI or maybe Looper, they actually blew my mind because they were like so creative in their implementations of a similar idea. So like just not using what it is written, but like actually thinking about in how you can actually implement a very good application on top of that.
That's a good recommendation. I also sometimes, I mean, there is no excuse anymore to have a complete, README or even having a good kind of like transparent code. But I also like, yeah, surprised sometimes when people actually like, do kind of close source PR or like even having some repos that are private. That's I don't understand why. But any recommendation on your side, Ayush, Deham, or
I
Port?
think I'll double down on what you have said. I have like judged the previous hackathon and the card hackathon as well, and I think having a presentation where you are actually showing what you're using as well in the tech stack, because let's say like you're using Envio, you're using MetaMask Smart Accounts. If you're showing in the video like you have used in this way, this is like the like being used. You are showing in the chain like okay, this is you can see the monad is being used clearly. It's very easy for a like judge to like find the codes and everything and like to get a overview of like what the project does it meet the qualification criteria, because if you're judging a hackathon it's too difficult to like go into every code and bit and like find those details yourself. So having a good readme is also an important thing where you're showing that if you're using Envio, this is the link to go and check to the file that this is the Envio use case, this is the MetaMask Monad use case. You can see the chain configuration of Monad over here. So I think if you are submitting for MetaMask Smart Accounts and Monad Kickoff, I would definitely suggest like creating a video where you are covering everything and having a really good readme, because no
And
matter how
definitely code as
yeah
well.
yeah it's like no
Yes.
matter how good your project is, but if you're not able to present it in a good way, the judge won't be able to relate.
Yeah, I think also what's
Yeah.
really awesome about these longer form hackathons is uh, it's not such a scramble. So I think there's a bit of an expectation of crossing your I's and dotting your T's, or the inverse. Um, I would also say in the past, when I've judged, I've also always gone into the code and kind of dived into it as much as I can to take a look. So really, like implementation does count. And then the last thing is actually just a preference thing, but it's always fantastic to have a README, but sometimes prompting the AI gods to say, keep it concise and direct rather than too kind of long and fluffy and too much content sometimes can be quite helpful.
Yeah. I think all of those are great, but let me add one thing. This is what I do when I like do some hackathons. Like, check what your peers are doing, check what your enemies are doing. Make your app, make your thing better than the others, especially in terms of UX. UX and UI, like how your app looks and how your app is used. I think it's the first thing a reviewer, a judge, takes a look into. So just make your thing look good, make your thing easily usable, and make your thing make sense. So when I open the URL you give me, and when I visit that URL, I should understand what it is doing. I shouldn't be going to whatever document that you handed me to figure out what's doing. It should be apparent, and it should be there right in the front end. So that will be my advice. Check others' work, make your work better than others' work. And that's it.
Yeah, that's a good input. I think also like really analyzing LLM or not, the idea banks that we put out there, the low hanging fruit. Also, like we kind of like say these are some kind of like inspiration dApps. I think that's very important because a lot of people sometimes kind of like are just random starting building without actually thinking about the use case, right? Because it's not just a technical like challenge here, is also like a way that if you're bringing this post hackathon, are you able to actually like distribute this in an efficient way? So I think that's also like something that people are underestimating. So I think we are kind of like at time 3 minutes 3 minutes up, but I mean I was very excited to hear and I think this was a very interesting like live stream because we definitely hyped up every developer here, myself included, what is happening for the next cook-off, and also like Yash, the really like showing also publicly like why why and which track people won. We should definitely do a breakdown, but I think it's super useful, and the fact that we're also having the live stream on Friday, it's exciting. Anything else I'm missing that to share here? I think we definitely should share again the QR code. And yeah, I mean, thanks everyone for joining. I think we had a couple of questions. I mean, Sam here, we kind of responding online, but the question around different apps are limited to just one. I mean, optimally, like you want to kind of like, submit one app per person. Don't mind coding 100 apps, focus on the quality side. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. I use them or port. I think it's fine, right? I mean, focusing on one would be optimal, I think.
Yeah, there is no like criteria like you cannot submit two, but like definitely focus on one. Try to see like how you can improve that. Also, like as Port mentioned, how you can improve the UX to make it more user friendly.
Just mentioning one thing, like I
Yes, yes.
got a few of those, like people who have submitted multiple, and I just considered one of those out of multiple that you have
Mm.
submitted. So I personally judge it like that.
Yeah, that's a smart also recommendation. I think yeah, we also sometimes seeing kind of like, copy of like the apps that are submitted in other kind of like hackathon. I mean, we mentioned here that we are trying to also be flexible around, it's not just about fresh code, but we also like encourage like, the apps founder with already kind of like deployed contract and even users to expand the functionality, start to actually like think about, smart account, maybe leveraging a bit more on the delegation toolkit side, even deploying on other chain. I think like we definitely encourage that. At the end of the day, I mean, I think like be a bit kind of like conscious of what you're submitting, and with all the recommendation that we stated today, I think it's enough kind of like things to start. But again, we're doing a couple of more workshops and live stream during the time. But I think the best way is also like, if you have any question, our doors are open, but also we have both the developer discords out there. So we have also like the Telegram developer chat that a bunch of people are in there. So always ask question there. So excited to actually kick this off, and yeah, happy also like to have also the support from everyone here. I think this will definitely not be impossible without both Monad and Envio. So thanks so much, guys, for actually like collabs on this. This is just the start. We're also like working on different new activation, both IRL and non-IRL. So it's great to have more kind of like ecosystem partner out there. So thanks everyone for joining, and I we probably see you guys on Friday in the next workshops.